So if you'll notice, I was wearing a hat in the other videos, but it got too hot. I was wearing a hat because I feel like the light gets super reflective off my head, and I think that is distracting for me at least. So hopefully it's not for you. Anyways, so now it's time to talk about what it is that we actually do here at This is Leadership 101. We train and develop new supervisors and help them become experienced, confident, successful leaders. And there are a couple different ways that we do this. The most common method that we use is our Leadership 101 program. Now, this is an online course that goes on for 12 weeks. Each week we'll unlock a new unit, and each of those units covers a very essential part of successful leadership. There's a unit that covers responsibility. There's a unit that covers developing trust. There's a unit that covers designing and implementing new team cultures, so on and so forth. The essentials that you need to become a successful leader are all included in that Leadership 101 course. Now, each week when the unit unlocks, it'll come with a training video that's about 15 to 20 minutes long, and that training video will provide you education on that week's unit. It'll teach you what you need to know in a very simple and easy to understand way. Then after you're done watching that video, you're going to check out that week's skill tool. Now, the skill tool is going to provide you some structure and support on learning and using a skill related to that week's topic. It might involve having hard conversations with someone. It might involve weeding out toxic employees. Whatever that week's topic will be, the skill tool will help you learn and use a skill related to that topic that you can start implementing in your team if you feel comfortable. So after you review the skill tool and kind of learn what the skill is that you're going to practice and how you're going to practice, we put you on an experience mission. Now, what the experience mission is basically a very safe and structured way to take your new knowledge and to take your new skill and use it in the real world to get real world experience. Because what I don't want to have happen is I don't want you to watch a 20-minute video and say, oh yeah, that makes sense. I really like what I learned. And then I don't want you to check out the skill tool and be like, oh yeah, I understand what they're trying to do with this. I understand how this would be helpful. And then that's it. That information just sits in your head and it's never used. And then eventually it's forgotten. Because I think that's a waste of our time, it's a waste of your time, and no progress is actually made because nothing is changing. You're watching something and you're learning stuff that you like, but if you don't actually start to implement it in the real world and get experience and make it a part of your normal routine, you're not going to see any improvements and you're not going to see any changes. So that will go on for about 12 weeks, and that's the Leadership 101 course. Now, we also have the community package and we have the mentorship program. What the community package is essentially is it goes through the Leadership 101 course, but it involves using what you learn with other new supervisors, other people who are learning at the same pace that you are, they're struggling with the same situations that you are. We bundle you into groups, and each group will have, one of our coaches overseeing that group, and basically you'll meet once a week. You'll talk about what you learned, you'll talk about the video, you'll talk about the skill, you'll practice it with your group. It's kind of, you get feedback from everyone, and it's also nice knowing that you're not alone on this, because some of these skills are pretty challenging to master. And as with any skill, obviously at first you're going to fail. You're going to try, you're going to fail, you're going to learn, you're going to repeat that process over and over again, and each time you'll make progress. But some people really struggle with the failure aspect. They think that if they can't do it right the first time, then they just must not be cut out to be a leader. And that's absolutely not the case. So we have this community setting where you can learn and discuss your concerns and support one another as you make progress towards becoming that leader that you want to be. And then in our mentorship program, we pair you up one-on-one with one of our coaches, where you'll go through the content of the 101 course, week by week, just as you would in any of the other methods. But here you'll be working one-on-one with an expert, someone who's been in leadership and teaches leadership for a living. You'll practice your skills with an expert. You can ask your questions with an expert. You can do role plays. You can bring up specific scenarios that only apply to you and your specific company, or you and that one specific person on your team. Essentially, it gets you a lot more access to an expert, and it's really kind of designed to be more convenient and supportive for you. So you can either learn on your own, you can learn with a group of your peers, or you can learn with an expert. And all of that is if you are an individual who's wanting to invest in developing your own leadership experience and skills. Now, if you're a company who's wanting to develop some type of program to get your employees trained, that is kind of follows a similar pattern where we'll work with you. We'll come up with what it is exactly that you want to see out of your employees, and then we'll come up with trainings and skills that are pretty in line with what you're wanting to see, and we'll find really solid ways to train and support your employees to reaching that standard that you're wanting to see out of them. And then we also have a couple of other things that we do. Really, one of my main priorities is staying very, very involved with this leadership community, because I know that going through this stuff on your own really sucks. And if you've got people in the same position as you are, they're just as stressed as you are, they're questioning their worth just like you are. I think being in a community who really understands what you're going through and is trying to accomplish the same stuff as you and experiencing the same challenges and is needing the same support, I think makes the whole endeavor that much easier, because you know that this is not just you. This is a normal thing that a lot of people go through, and you can look at the people who are going through the same stuff that you are, and you can support them just as how you can have them support you. And I think that makes a world of difference when it comes to progress and kind of keeping up momentum when it comes to developing yourself. So yeah, that's what we do. We train and develop new supervisors into really kick-ass leaders.